Hey guys, it's Angel, welcome back to the channel, and today we're looking at an anticipated business jet, the H-Jet, the Honda Jet, by Marwan Gharib. I hope I'm pronouncing that one correctly. Highly anticipated business jet. We've not had a lot of them so far, and, well, will it live up to the hype, and will it live up to what we're expecting? Now, there is no initial documentation with it. That is apparently coming very soon, and there is an update expected for this week as well. It just went live on the marketplace, which of course meant it was sent to Microsoft in Asobo a while ago, so this update coming this week is something that's been in the works for a while and is now reaching the sim. So obviously there will be updates, and of course that's to do with the marketplace lag. You buy this on the marketplace from Asobo, and as you can see here, a bunch of liveries, lots of cool things, and Honda Jet. So let's take a look at this thing. In fact, before we do that, let's go back inside, because we need to put the batteries on first, and our electronics. Okay. Well, thank you for that oral warning, okay? I really appreciate the kind, warming tone of your voice, computer. The Honda Jet. Well, the HA420, blaze it, Honda Jet is a light business jet produced by Honda, Honda Company, oh, sorry, I should say of Greensboro, North Carolina, not Honda in Japan. Now, original concept started in 97, completed in 99, and it first flew in 2003. And it was certified in 2015. So the first deliveries happened. Well, I'm glad it tested okay. So 200 have been delivered since 2021, the end of 2021. So it's quite a new aircraft. It's a composite fuselage and aluminium wing, powered by two General Electric Honda HF120 turbofans on these pylons on top of the wing. It can reach 420 knots. Blaze it. 1400 nautical mile range, and it can take 7 occupants or 8 in Europe, and a crew of 1 to 2. So a rather fun little aircraft. Now let's take a look at some of these things first. Of course, we need to press this. Sorry, I just suddenly wanted to cough a lot. Now, you'll see here a load manager with people in it, and you can select, unselect people, and you can select more and less baggage. Put a bit more in there. Now, we will go to our initialization page, and we'll go to Systems Test, and we'll hit the pre-flight button. This is a very automated aircraft. It's like an iPad with wings, which is both good and bad. We'll get to that later. Now, well, this is doing its tests. I will go back here. It's doing a stick shaker test. Weight and fuel. Get from the sim. So I'll tell it to take the sim weight. Payload is, of course, get from the sim. Fuel, get from the sim. Take off, get from the sim. Next. Press get from the sim, and it will give me my enunciations, which is cool. Now we go back here, of course, we've got these things. Now, some of these things aren't functioning yet. This is something, oh no, they are, they're up there. So if I was to go here, this is what basically guides me through the various information pages of the aircraft system. So fuel, electrical systems, environmentals, hydraulics, and ice protection. So we have all that information there, which is really cool. Now, I'm going to make it dark here in the sim real quick before we get going, because this will be a quick flight. So it's pretty dark. Yes. Gear. Thank you. Quiet. Let's go to interior lighting. Let's brighten this whole day up, shall we? Yeah, because I could just turn on lights this way. Oh, overhead lighting, off, on. It's rather nice, isn't it? And it's like using an iPad that's an aeroplane. It's weird. Exterior lighting, we can control that too. Yep, we got lights. It's actually kind of a cool feature. I do love the way this is done. Now, this is how the actual Honda Jet does it, so prepare your eyeballs. This basically takes care of all those sort of factors for us, which is rather cool. So let's knock these off. And we're good to go. Let's go back to home page. So how does one start this wonderful aircraft? Well, you hit the button. That's how. Yeah. We have our spoilers here. We have our flaps here. So we'll notch 1 flaps. Our throttles, of course, aren't moving, despite the fact I'm moving them. Why is that? I'll show you in a second. I have to move this up from its detent. And once I move it out of the detent, which in real life you'll just click it up with your hand, I don't like that feature, because in the real life aircraft you would just move them somewhat and they would function. There we go. Do my throttles function now? They do. Okay, there we go. So I can pull this all the way back to idle and it functions just fine. But, you know, the sim. Let's start engine 2. Engine 1 was good. And we've got our ice protection on there, so I will switch this one off. PFD settings full. Well, it won't for some reason. But I'll keep my my fuel on there for now. Obviously, when the manual comes out, we'll be able to read that a lot better. Now, you do have almost a Garmin-esque system down here. It is a Garmin. That'd be why. Explains a lot, really. With map settings, we've got traffic settings, and of course this controls what we're seeing there. And we can half and half it with our map and with our traffic, half and half it with our weather radar, which is really useful. Really lovely flow of controls. As that happened. Hello. Hi. There we go. Computers, huh? Okay, so we're ready to go. Let's get this thing on the run. Now, obviously, you can't open the windows. That's not a big deal. But we are going to, just quickly before we take off, go to home, go to sim options. Let's pop some doors, shall we? Can't click those things because obviously the engines are running. But we have cargo baggage there. Shades over the back windows. And we have our cabin access here. And there are some rather nice views in those seats. We'll take a look at those in a moment. But it is a beautifully detailed aircraft. Always look at the wheels. Always important to look at the wheels. Let's get back inside here. If I can do this without losing my brain. There we go. Thank you for behaving. Okay, we are good to rock and roll. So let's pop our parking brake off. Flaps are set. We're good to start rolling. We'll see how this thing handles in the air. Shouldn't be too long a flight. We'll just do a quick lap around. It's a business aircraft. It will fly like a business aircraft. Your flight plan can be that complicated. You can do what you need to do with it. It does what it says on the tin. If you have charts plug-in for this, of course, you can pull those up on your PF or MFD, which is nice. Now this should, the way we've got it set up, you do the audio enunciations as we depart. So we'll get our V speeds read out to us. We have our autopilot controls, of course, there. My brain. This is what happens when it's still quite light outside and I'm trying to pull my curtains as close as they can be, and my head tracking decides it really doesn't enjoy being in existence. Duh. Okay, let's rock and roll, shall we? As TeamSpeak enunciations happen, that's great. Takeoff mode. Let me just quit that. There we go. No time to mute it. I'm not getting any V-speed readouts. That could be me. Oh, we're heavy. Okay, let's get this off the ground. I think I made it too heavy for this runway. That'll be why. I'm a professional, I promise. Could you behave, please? It feels like I've got Tourette's. Flaps are coming up. And we're at full throttle, so I'm just going to power this back slightly. Is my microphone in the way of the sensor? That could also be a factor. Let's disable this for a moment and we'll head outside. The sounds are rather lovely. And the aircraft is very pretty. The lines are gorgeous. The modelling is... Hi. Yeah. Oh, my day. Yeah. I don't know what this is doing. Okay, looks like we're going back to manual mode. It's really bright. Oh, I said there were views. So, of course, we've got usual control views.
Overspeed.
Yep, I'm overspeeding.
Overspeed.
Let's pull that back.
Overspeed.
Gorgeous cabin views here.
Overspeed.
And a bathroom. Because that's important. To go to the toilet in flight and look out the window, which you can't see. Okay, there we go. We'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Now, our airport should be somewhere. That's what we know. It's somewhere. We'll swing ourselves around here. We'll keep our speed down. We're not going to cheat and look out the window. That would be problematic. But I'm pretty sure if I look down, it is... Are we in Canada already? Woo! We escaped! The problem is I don't even see the correct island. Did we jump the world? That's entirely possible. We may have jumped the world. Oh, no, we're over there. I got it. We have visual. It's a good job I know the area, isn't it? Right. We'll pass down here. And we will hop across over there to the airport. So we'll just come around this mountain here, and we'll set ourselves up for a final approach. Now, it turns out we're quite heavy, so this is going to be interesting. We nearly didn't have enough room to take off, but hey, I'm used to short runways. We're okay with that. Let's keep our power down. We're going to get our gear down and extended now. I'm going to deploy first stage of flaps here. We're doing this the old school way. With a hat switch. This is unfamiliar to get used to. Now, as we head into summer months here, I am facing direct sunlight during my evening times, which means, yeah, most head tracking enjoys that greatly. I need blackout curtains. Okay, we're going to turn ourselves inbound here. Our speed is quite low, so we're okay. We'll be good to descend. We'll hit the lake and we'll be able to turn final. Because there's the town. And that's our point we want to be set up by. Bit more motion lotion. Advance the throttles. The aircraft's handling is very nice. Now, it does handle like a turboprop twin GA. I will say that. It's responsive, it's very fast, but it handles like a twin turboprop. Obviously, being a jet, it has a similar engine handling characteristic, but the size of it, it does feel very nimble, very manageable, and it feels like you have total control of the aircraft. I love the texturing, I will say. The texture work and the modelling of this aircraft is gorgeous. I would have liked a tablet, perhaps, for some of these control features. And I'd like, maybe the armrest would have been cool. Not the end of the world, but there are some candy features, of course. You know, doors, cabin things, props, etc. It would have been nice to have maybe a tablet to control those functions rather than it being built in. Whilst the Garmin system is very good, it makes me feel a little bit like the computery doodah in the 737, the PMDG one. That you know you have to use all of those ACARs. No, wrong one. That airline computer crap that people put flight plan into. Either way. It feels like that. It looks a lot better, obviously, because it's an actual computerized system built with Garmin in a modern aircraft, but it does feel a little clunky than a tablet. But it's not a huge thing. I actually quite like it in this, but it feels maybe slightly clunky than it should be. So we have 3 green lights. They are down. Landing flaps configuration. Oh, big nose up there as those go down. Controls look configured on the screen. Our throttles are idle here. Runway is lined up. Keep a little bit of power on for our descent. Spoilers are armed. Okay. So it's a little floaty here on final. It feels a little bit bouncy. Like I get a ton of lift from that second to last flap stage. It really does seem to kind of jump up. Now I'm pretty close to stall speed here, so I want to accelerate slightly. Because the last thing I want to be doing is stalling a business jet on final, especially on a review. Feeling good so far. And for a price of £20, or the equivalent in dollars on the marketplace, this is a fantastic price for what you're getting. I can't really gripe for £20. It's become almost a standard price for an aircraft in the sim. We've seen better for £20. We've seen much worse for £20. This is towards the higher percentile, I would say. Ooh, little gust there. Okay. Now, a business jet of this size should be able to get into somewhere like this, so let's hope this is going to work. Plonker on the numbers. Little bit floaty. Oh, we're floating quite a bit here. Come on, down you get. There we go. I have to force you onto the runway there. Those full flaps definitely provide a ton of lift. Like I said, there was a big difference between the stage I was getting from the second to last stage of flaps and that final stage. A huge jump, so it definitely added a little bit of ballooning there. And maybe I was a little fast, I'm not sure. Manual we're expecting to get soon, and we're also expecting to get an update very soon, adding more features. There are some things that aren't final, but they were working towards a Sobo deadline for the marketplace, so that's a factor. The fact there's already an update basically ready to rock, I think will fix some of my little gripes in terms of the small things perhaps that are in around the aircraft. There's a couple of little weird things. I don't like the throttle detent thing. I think that's obviously it's a sim limitation, but it doesn't make sense to include that feature when in reality all you would do to go do that is to bypass the detent on the throttles, and in a sim we have to grab them with the mouse and move them. It feels clunky when we could literally just use the sim's throttle controls. Ground handling is fantastic. It moves as exactly as you'd want to. I haven't tried it in ISO conditions yet, but this feels like one of the easiest planes to fly. Everything is computerized. I even like the glass cockpit in this. It even feels useful because everything is such a quick response. I'm surprised it's not a touchscreen glass system. Oh, drifting to the side of the taxiway there. But it does work, so we will put this thing to bed on the ramp, and I think my final thoughts are this is definitely good value. I quite like it. It's the kind of jet I will fly. Between this and the CJ4, probably the CJ4 a little bit more, but I quite like this. This is the kind of jet that makes, I think, a good entry to jets, because really easy functional control of your flight plans and systems, and extremely simple functionality. Engine start was press a button. Like, there's no starting up 14 different systems. You just press a button and it's go. Which is crazy. And it will handle relatively short runways. This is 3,000 feet. Or 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Lots of liveries. Cool plane to fly. Looks good. Very fast. Kind of unique. The engine pylons is strange, but I like it. Good plane. Would recommend. Suggest buy. I'm Avangel. What are you watching? You just did. Why I talk like Yoda? Not sure. Bye.